Hey everyone, this is Daryl Evans of the 1984 World Champion Detroit Tiger. My favorite show to be on is the Sports Circus with Big Sal.
Stretch! You can put it on the board! Yes!
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. A big welcome into everybody on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates and independents from coast to coast. Everybody watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectra, WOW, Charter, and independent cable affiliates in select markets. Thanks for joining us. Also on Hotel TV, where applicable, all of our social media and streaming, as well as on Facebook on Chicago Food Favorites. Thanks for joining us on Chicago Food Favorites. If you don't know what that is, it's a fun group, food group. Talk about your favorite restaurants, favorite recipes, and your favorite foods. Make some friends, have some fun. Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. All right, and today's show is brought to you by, well, a very special guest, and he's going to tell you all about the organization. Go ahead, young man.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike Breault. I'm the founder and the CEO of Hangdog Social, and I would love to thank Sal for having us on the show today. And if you want to know what Hangdog Social is all about, we are at www.hangdogsocial.com, and you can find out everything that you need to know about what we're up to. Thanks, Sal.
Yes! Yes! All right, that's our patented yes! Hey, listen, folks. Hangdog Social is part of the reason why we're here today. And we're going to learn a little bit about Hangdog Social. And I have to tell you, folks, it is unique. Look, this is a show of sports and entertainment and fun and chaos. And hey, listen, even great food too. And so I had a really unique experience a while back. I want to say it's about a year and a half ago. Who the hell knows? Maybe 2 years ago. The point is, I went to this really cool club, and I really didn't know what to expect. I was watching some really good sporting events, and I met this guy. His name was Mike, and that's who we're here with today, Mike Breault. And I have to tell you, my experience was one that here I find myself in a building that had a bunch of, I'm going to say a bunch of operating businesses within the building. It was a large building, large facilities, and it had a really cool sports bar, and it had some really good food. I remember these hot, I think they were hot and Thai honey wings. Boy, were they good. Mike, you have to tell me what they were exactly, but man, I remember I couldn't stop eating those darn things. But what I'm trying to say, folks, is I'm watching sporting events with a lot of people in an intimate setting, and I'm trying to figure out what in the world, where did I walked into it like a time warp, and what a great experience it was. Mike, why don't you tell everybody about what I walked into and what Hangdog Social is?
Sure, Sal, I'd love to, and I appreciate your time with you. Hangdog Social was actually founded, and I will say by accident, and it was founded by the people, and that's why it's a members-owned community and a members-owned facility. We originally put Hangdog Social together because we founded a company in 2012 known as Spritzy Drink Co., which is a patented smart dispenser that dispenses beverages in any type. It's like a Keurig cold. It's like a Keurig, but for cold beverages. And what Hangdog was put together was to really be a multitude of different venues to show the use of this particular device And we put this together in an 11,000 square foot facility, and there were 14 different venues. We had a barber shop, we had sports lounge or sports bar, we had a cigar lounge, we had a golf simulator, we had all of the different venues that we had that you saw when you came in, and it was meant for people to just come through and to get experience our the community, but also our product, our drink dispensers, and all the different drinks that we offered with it. Well, as we were doing this and we put this thing together, people were coming into us and asking us, hey, can we do a birthday party here? We ended up doing 5 weddings. We did bar mitzvahs. We did sweet 16s. We did gender reveals. It was an amazing. We had a sound stage. We did live bands. We've had comedy shows here. We've had so many different events. And so it really kind of one thing led to another, and it turned into a micro community of members-owned and members-run facility. With the pizza kitchens and all the different food that we offered. We had what was called My Backyard. You go out. And the reason I said we had, because we grew exponentially. As we started this, month after month, it was our membership was doubling and doubling and doubling. Finally, we outgrew the facility. And that's what we're talking about today is we bought a building in Rancho Cucamonga, California, and we're rebuilding it's 4 times larger than the original pilot, which we had in Redlands, California. And that's why what we're discussing today is the launch of the new Hangdog Social in Rancho and what we're doing for our members and the community to get this new facility off with 30 more Hangdog Socials after this one opening around the world. So we're really excited about what we're doing and what we have here. And you wouldn't believe when people would come in, when they first walked in, they'd get out their phones, and the next thing you know, they had 15 people joining them at the facility. Because once you walk through and you see all the different things that are going on, it's just an amazing. It's a family friendly, as you know, we had a lot of different, we had a theater and game rooms and all types of things for families. So it's it's also very, very sports oriented. We had batting cages, golf simulators. Many football teams would come in and do their team parties here, or baseball teams, that type of thing. In fact, when you were out, I think it was last year during the football playoffs when Jaden Daniels came in to the facility, and we're doing a dedication to Jaden. He's, if you know Jaden with the Washington Redskins, the Commanders, he was by, and we're doing a dedication at the new facility with Jaden. And so yeah, that's it. We had 14 venues there. We're opening 40 venues here at the new Hangdog in Rancho Cucamonga.
Wow, that's incredible. I do remember. I'm watching a football game with you. I remember it was football playoffs, and I was thinking, well, Jesus, halftime. Maybe I'll go get my hair cut. Right? I mean,
it happens a lot.
Yeah, it was incredible because for me,
at the end of the game, you can go smoke a cigar in the cigar lounge.
Right. I'm just a kid, so I'm thinking, wow, I can go play pinball, or I could go play video games. I could go shoot some pool. I get my hair cut. I can get some food. There was so much to do in there, and I saw families in there too. So it was a little confusing to me. I'm like, what in the world? Where did I walk into? And it's a safe place for kids because there are a whole bunch of facilities for youngsters just as well as the adults.
That parents love it because they can come in and they can go to the sports bar, and the kids can go to the game rooms or the other different facilities, and even out in my backyard with the kids, we have the cornhole and all the different things going on out back. So yeah, it's water slides, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's a really, really fun place, and it really, really kind of grew and became, kind of took on a life of its own. So we're really excited about it. The whole community and membership is really excited, especially for the new Rancho Cucamonga facility. Yeah, folks, we're here with Mike Breault from Hangdog Social, by the way, in case you're just tuning in. And, Mike, what I had also found really, I thought from a family standpoint, it was really good that it was security coded and carded, like to walk in there. So not just Joe Blow or Josephine Blosephine could walk in off the street and just walk in there. No, you actually had to be a member of the organization. I really liked that part. you hit the nail on the head, Sal. That is probably one of the most talked about features of the Hangdog Social, because you have to have a membership card to walk in. You walk to the front door and you actually, like you said, code in. Parents loved it because they felt no matter where their child was in the facility, the only people in there were members, and there's a membership application. It's easy to become a member, but we want to make sure that everyone that's a member is on the up and up, you know what I mean, and safe and whatnot. And so that's really the whole, and so the parents could just let their kids roam, and they could take off and go anywhere, and they know that they were secure within anywhere of the facility.
Yeah, I understand that. And listen, folks, by the way, that little crack of the bat there means we've got about 2 minutes left of the segment, just in case you're keeping score, right? So we have to make sure that everybody knows that. But, I mean, let's face it. When we look at what's out there today, and sometimes it could be a little bit of a dicey situation if you bring your kids somewhere and you're not in a relatively controlled environment. And I always think of safety for kids, for my nieces, my nephews, and whatnot. And I know, obviously, you have a family too. So you want what's best for the family and safety and security. Take 30 seconds and talk a little bit more about that, and then we're going to go to break real quick.
Well, I mean, again, as far from the safety standpoint, but the main thing, I think one of the things that we thought of years ago, because we all have families, I have children, I have grandchildren, and was we always, when we were going out, we were, of course, wanting to go somewhere that was safe and secure in a safe part of town, but we also, everybody had a different taste. I want barbecue, I want pizza, I want sushi. That's one of the most beautiful things is here. And so the kids, I don't want to eat right now. It's like, okay, we're going to Hangdog because I'm going to get pizza. You're going to get hot dogs. He's going to get spaghetti. Whatever you want, you could get. And all of the different venues and food restaurants throughout the facility would bring the food into the sports bar to you. You could eat sushi in the sports bar, not just bar food. So, and also know wherever your kids are, we have security throughout and cameras throughout the facility. So that was the fun thing, and again, the most attractive thing, I think, to most families.
All right, folks, we're going to be back here with Mike Breault from Hangdog Social in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, of the Sports Circus, a primetime, nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it out here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UppercutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UppercutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UppercutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average and best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UppercutChops.com or call 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Or make your selection directly at UppercutChops.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
Thank you, Roy, and welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. A big welcome into everybody listening in across the country on radio and everybody watching on television. By the way, folks, big welcome into our friends over in Atlanta, WDJY 99.1 FM. And by the way, thanks for waking up with us over there. Thanks for driving home with us in Auburn, Alabama from Columbus, Georgia, all the way over to Montgomery. That's where our signal extends out. That's on the Atlanta Braves radio network. And that is WAUD 1230 on the AM dial. Welcoming everybody else up and down the Midwest, out to the West Coast, driving back and forth on Interstate 15, listening in on 101.5 FM and 107.3 FM, Highway Country Radio. That is home of the Raiders and hold of the Vegas Golden Knights as well. Hello to our friends up and down the shoreline on the West Coast, all the way up to Seattle, down to Honolulu. CBS Sports 1500, KHKA, that's home of the New York Yankees, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. All right, that's for our friends over in Auburn, War Eagle. All right, also everybody else streaming on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Time Warner, Charter, all of our cable operators in select markets. Thanks for joining us there, as well as Hotel TV where applicable. And of course, everybody listening in on the recorded show, because sometimes people will listen to this after it's already done on Apple, Amazon, Audible, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher, Deezer, and by all the others, all those streamers. Folks, we're everywhere. You can't get away from us. And of course, a big hello to our friends over on the Mars Rover. All right. And by the way, this segment is brought to you again by Hangdog Social. And here to tell you everything about Hangdog Social in about 30 seconds is their founder, Mike Breault.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike Breault. I'm the founder and CEO of Hangdog Social, and I want to thank Sal for having us on today. You can visit Hangdog Social at www.hangdogsocial.com and or at Hangdog Social on Instagram. We have a lot of information on there about what we're doing and what we plan to do around the world over the next 60 months. Thank you, Sal.
Hey, that's good stuff. And folks, by the way, in case you're wondering why we have Hangdog Social on here, is because I had a very unique experience there about a year and a half ago or so. And as a sports guy, as a former athlete, I'm a former baseball player, I look at this and say, this was a great experience for me. And for all those people that are tired of going to the same old sports bars and crap like that, and getting mediocre food and having small TVs to look at and this, that, and the other, I had a great experience. I mean, this is the truth. And for me, it was not only a great experience, but I found that the families there were having a great experience. And I said, this is really unique. And for all you sports fans out there and all you entertainment buffs, maybe you like to go to concerts or whatnot, imagine walking into this entertainment ecosystem. That's the best way I can come up with it. And it actually had stages for live music. They have ginormous TVs, great food, great family facilities, whether it was for kids or even for senior citizens. There's all kinds of great opportunities for entertainment throughout the day. And I understand, and we're going to get into this in a little bit, even for resorts, for vacations as they move forward in their development. In fact, you know what? Why don't you mention a little bit about that, Mike, on what the Hangdog Social future looks like over the next maybe 36 months?
All right, thanks, Sal. Well, the Hangdog facility in Rancho, what we did was in Redlands, our facility there, we had...
That's Redlands, California, right?
That's the one you were at, yeah. And that facility was really exactly what you explained it to. And one of the things I forgot to mention in our first segment was our virtual ride room. We call it the Amazement Park. You go in and you can ride roller coasters and space cycles and that type of thing in the Amazement Park. Kids loved it. And you can even go bowling. Now, the new facility in Rancho Cucamonga, what we ended up doing was we bought the building. We bought the entire plot of land, and we're buying a few of the residences around it. And we're actually putting up 220 room bed and breakfast here right next to the Hangdog Social facility that we're building with 40 new venues. And the idea behind that, there'll actually be a chapel here at the new Hangdog Social in Rancho where you can actually get married. We did 5 weddings at our old facility from start to finish. We did the whole wedding, and then we also did the reception afterwards. So this facility is going to be all inclusive. You'll have a place to stay. We'll have a family part of the resort where you'll be able to have a 20-room bed and breakfast for family, and then across the way we'll have one for just adults. So if you really want to be alone and with the adults, you can be over in that area as well. And same thing with the facility. If you want to come in and go to the cigar lounge or go somewhere where it's quiet and collect your thoughts, you can do that in Hangdog. There's always a venue here to do something like that. And if you want to be with the families and the kids and whatnot, you just head to where all the fun is, So that's really kind of what we've got going on here. And this one is far more thought through than the first one was. But again, like I said, the first one was just kind of happened, and we had no idea what we were opening here, but it grew, doubling every single month from the minute it opened. And it was all organic, zero marketing, zero advertising. So that was another very exciting thing. We knew how much people loved it.
Yeah, I love the fact that you haven't had to go out and hustle this. And for me, look, going to sports bars, I don't know, my brother and I would go watch a football game or a basketball game or a baseball game or a hockey game at the different sports bar venues. And look, folks, this is not just Southern California. This is around the country. Of course, I'm here in Las Vegas, but when I'm visiting Southern California, where I'm there very often, I find that our choices for watching games and going to this kind of setup, it's not very attractive. I'm just being honest. I mean, my brother asked me, well, hey, do you want to go to this one or that one? And he lives in Anaheim. And I'm thinking, not really, because I don't like the low ceilings. I don't like the acoustics are really rough in there. And that's just part of it. You can't even hear yourself talk to the person you're with because the ceilings are low and there's just too much reverb from the bounce from the sound. You know what I mean? And so we have an ongoing issue where not only can we not hear each other, but we're hearing everybody yell in our heads, and we leave there with horrible headaches. And I have to say that walking in to your facility in Redlands, it was a real game changer for me. So, folks, this is not to hype this organization or anything like that. It's a great experience that I had, and I wanted to share. And because I have creative control over the circus, well, guess what? I'm going to give them an astounding round of applause. That's right.
I expand on that.
Yes. All right.
If I may.
Go ahead.
Now, one of the points that you alluded to was the simple fact that when you go to a sports bar and you want to watch your game, is your game going to be on? And the beautiful thing about Hangdog was we had the Hangdog app. You could come in. If you were a member with the Hangdog app, you could go sit at a different area of the facility and put your game on. and you could sit with your crowd, your Raider crowd, your Charger crowd, whoever your team was, in the sports bar on the big screen. It might have been the main event for the day, but you have access to the Hangdog app that you could change the channels in different areas throughout the different venues throughout the facility. And the same thing with the jukebox. If you didn't like, we had the jukebox on the Hangdog app, you could actually go in and wherever you were sitting, if you didn't like the song, put your song in a queue, if you will, and you could listen to any music that you'd like. So we had a lot of really great versatile things that you could do at Hangdog, and will be able to do more. And the new Hangdogs are going to all be much more advanced and also very attached to the members.
Right, and see, one thing that I like about this, exactly what you were talking about, Mike. By the way, we're here with Mike Breault, founder and CEO of Hangdog Social. Check him out online at, I think it's hangdogsocial.com, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The one thing I really liked was that, look, if I didn't like the matchup of a game that was on television, well, I could go to a different part in one of the wings of the building, because the building was massive in the first place, but I could watch what I want when I wanted. And I didn't have to basically walk into a room and say, oh, no, that game is on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the piano bar, we had you got the piano bar, you got the cigar lounge, you've got the dart room, you've got different areas throughout, even in the coffee smoothie shop, different TVs up, and in the sports bar, that type of thing. Even out back in my backyard, it's called, we had different televisions throughout the backyard. You could go watch different types of different games, if you will, even if you wanted to go watch, I don't know, The Voice or something like that. If you had the television to yourself, you could do that. So you're so.
Yeah, and the one thing I did like also, outside of the variety of food and this, that, and the other, it was the quality of the food. In fact, when we come back from break, I want to talk about the quality of the food, because I have to tell you, my father used to own a restaurant, and I grew up cooking in an Italian kitchen, and I know what it's like to make good food, but I was blown away by the caliber of the food. And again, folks, this isn't hype. This isn't anything. It's about an experience. And everybody that's listening to the show here in our last 30 seconds, you're saying, geez, I've had good experiences and not so good experiences at sports bars, this, that, and the other. Well, folks, it was such a good experience that I felt it was necessary to dedicate a show to a place that I had a tremendous experience at Hangdog Social in sunny Southern California. What a great experience. And I think this is something that's a real eye-opener. And as new clubs open across the country and around the world, we're going to hear more about lodging facilities and so forth as we move forward. But folks, it is a very different experience, and it is a very good one. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on the Sports Circus, right here from fabulous Las Vegas. Don't go anywhere, folks. I'm your ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime, nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportcircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time. That's 800-950-2049.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. That's 800-948-6817. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Hey everyone, Dave Jackson here, ESPN rules analyst on ESPN Hockey, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Folks, this segment is brought to you in part by our friends over at UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime, Angus, and Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you taste their best-in-class New York steaks, the filet mignon, and of course the king of all those gigantic and massive cowboy cut and tomahawk cut ribeyes. Best I've ever had, probably be the best you ever have as well. Check them out at uppercutchops.com. That's uppercutchops.com. Or give them a call, find out what's for dinner. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100 for uppercutchops.com. All right, welcome back to everybody on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates and independents from coast to coast. Everybody watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, Wow, Charter, and independent cable affiliates in select markets, Hotel TV, everybody streaming on social media. And by the way, a special hello to our friends driving up and down Interstate 15 between Las Vegas and sunny Southern California. You could be anywhere in sunny Southern California. And by the way, in case you're interested, our friends over at Vacation Buddies have something special for you. If you can answer a very simple trivia question, Vacation Buddy wants to give you 2 nights right here in Las Vegas or in Orlando, Florida, or in Branson, Missouri, if you know which of the following has won 6 NBA championships. Which one of these superstars? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Shaquille O'Neal, C, Kobe Bryant, or D, Michael Jordan? If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. Again, 888-576-5777. Call Vacation Buddies. Although they're not affiliated with this station, they want to give you a couple of nights in Las Vegas, Orlando, or Branson, Missouri. 888-576-5777. Call them now. Nice round of applause for them. And by the way, folks, since I was just thinking about food, and we're here with Mike Breault from Hangdog Social, founder and CEO. We're talking about food in the last segment. Uppercut Chops got me thinking about food. And the food at Hangdog Social, my experience, is absolutely outstanding. And that's not hype, folks. I mean, it is what it is. I just didn't want to be a slob when I was there because they were nice enough to give me some great plates of food. And I have to tell you that my experience for food was phenomenal. Mike, tell everybody why the food is so darn good there.
Well, in part, thanks, Sal, again. In part, was the fact we've owned restaurants. We've owned pizza, sports bars. We've owned Mexican restaurants and whatnot throughout my family when we founded this. And then the second reason is because we bring Hangdog Social is owned by members and partners. So what we do is we go out and we find the best food, the best restaurants, and we're partnering with those restaurants to come into Hangdog Social and open their own facility as a member in the facility or as a partner in Hangdog Social. So we're actually serving phenomenal food from gourmet chefs who have the experience to do this and give you the same experience you'd have if you went out to their restaurants. So we had 14 venues here at Hangdog in Redlands. We're opening 40 venues here in Rancho Cucamonga, and we're adding more different types of restaurants with different restaurant partners here in Rancho Cucamonga. So you're going to get the best of the best food, and you don't have to go somewhere to, this restaurant, whether it be fried chicken, go to a sushi place, go to a sports bar for bar food. You can go to just go to Hangdog Social, and we'll have all of the different types of foods for you and your family.
Yeah, and my experience, and I mentioned it before, I remember seeing all this great food served. I was like, oh yeah, you know what? You said, hey, would you like some food? And of course, first thing that I always gravitate to wings because I just love wings. And I'm not a flats guy, I'm a drums guy. I like the drumsticks. And I remember getting a plate of these incredible spicy honey Thai wings, if I'm not mistaken. But man, they were probably, honest to God, they were the best I've ever had. They really were. And of course, I wanted more. He said, hey, do you want more? I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'll take a bucket of these things. But at the same time, I just didn't want to be a complete slob anyway. But what I do understand is that you also have that prime Angus and Wagyu inside of there as well. Not choice, but prime. There's a big difference, folks.
Absolutely, and we have open flame grills, and you'll have the barbecue, the whole outdoor barbecue feel with that, Sal. And go back to your sweet chili Thai wings. I want to just give a plug to my wife. She's our wing specialist, just like the infamous pizza. We had, our pizza place from years ago. We had such a great calling, and when we opened Hangdog, a lot of our friends who remember the pizza we served at Primetime Pizza, it was called at the time. We brought it in, and it's called Infamous Pizza, and our pizza is to die for. And people, come from a long ways around to come and try our pizza and then continue to come back for our pizza.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I'm a pizza snob. My father had a pizza restaurant in Chicago, which is really, yes, it is the home of pizza. Why? People say, oh, no, it's Napoli. Listen, pizza was created first in Naples, Italy. And they put the pizza margherita over there, okay? And then they brought over that, in my opinion, that mediocre product. They brought it over to New York. And then they kept the product as it was, so be it. But the pizza was perfected in Chicago. Yes, and I'm going to say that because I can. But I will tell you that Detroit, where you're from, has a pretty darn good variety of pizza as well. And here's what's interesting. People from where I'm from, Mike, they don't want New York pizza in Chicago, but they don't mind Detroit pizza. They do not. You know why? Because the Detroit pizza in its rectangular shape, that's actually the old school Sicilian pizza, for those that don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but now you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, that's good stuff. Okay, so when people are the members are coming in there and they say, all right, how do I pay for this? How do I pay for that? Because, things, let's face it, it is the real world and everything isn't free in this world except, of course, I guess when you're close enough to somebody, bad breath is for free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, you also think of other things that are free too, air pollution and whatnot. But how do people handle and settle up their bills and whatnot within the Hangdog social environment?
That's a great question. Hangdog Social, again, it's a membership community owned and run by our members. When you come in, you have your Hangdog card. You can actually charge it to your Hangdog card and pay at the end, or pay monthly with your Hangdog card. Beautiful thing we're doing right now is our Piety token, which is a cryptocurrency that is asset backed, and it's going to be that currency will be on your Hangdog card as well, and you can pay for everything and anything with your Hangdog card while you're here. So you don't really have to worry about taking care of the bill at the end of the night. Now, your membership also is gone on that, so you have a monthly membership, and the memberships are not they're not unreasonable whatsoever. They're in the neighborhood of $25 for an individual and around $50 for an entire family. And you pay your membership once a month, but that also gets you rewards and loyalty points that add up, and you can use that throughout the facility as well.
Okay. Well, as I look at it, I say, all right, it's almost like when you check into a fine hotel and you can charge things to your room, whatnot, but it doesn't have the exorbitant rates that you would. For example, if you're right here in fabulous Las Vegas, let's go to the Caesar's Palace. I mean, Caesar's is my favorite place in the whole wide world when it comes to man-made structures. I just love Caesar's because it's a city. But what I found is that when I'm in California, if I'm at, for example, the Hangdog Club, it's its own city as well, isn't it?
It really is. The facility is large. The indoor venues were about 11,500 square feet, and the outdoors was the same. So we had about 23,000 square feet of useful space here. And you're right, it was like a city. It took you quite a while to walk through and go through all the different venues. And of course, you'd always find one that you didn't even know existed, like our Hacks room, which is our video game room for the kids. They go in and play Xbox and PlayStations and that type of thing. So we had the barbershop salon, the nails, the whole thing. So you could come in and do a business meeting, and then go get your hair cut, or get your hair cut and then do a business meeting in the smoothie in the coffee bar. So yeah, it is its own city, and that's what we really loved about this community.
Right, and as you expand, my understanding is you have international plans, and it's not just aspirations. No, these are actual plans to expand into several countries. The way your structure is for the organization is really interesting. As we get into it in our next segment, folks, this is something I've never seen before. I understand the structure, and hey, listen, I'm in. I'm a member myself just because I found it as such a unique structure. I'm like, I gotta be in. And I was taken away just by the way the layout was, and the fact, like I said early on, that, geez, I could watch a game, I get my hair cut, I could eat there, I could do everything there. And I saw families in there. It was really a good environment. And most importantly for me, I was like, it's a secure environment, and the people are vetted before they are members. So you can't just walk in there and say, I want to be a member. No, they're going to vet you and make sure that you're not some kind of a bad human. But what I liked in the long run, as I close out the segment here, I liked the fact that there are lodging facilities at nice resorts and this kind of thing. As I understand, you're going to have something in Costa Rica, you'll have something in other countries around the world, etc. And I'm excited about what's coming up, even in India, as I understand. There's so much going on. Tell you what, folks, don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here with Mike Breault from Hangdog Social. Back here in just a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Don't go anywhere.
Do you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything. Stop the drug and alcohol nightmare. Are drug and alcohol problems hitting you too close to home? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything.
800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 800-335-7196. 800-335-7196. That's 800-335-7196.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. That's 800-948-6817. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
Hey everybody, this is Brian Urlacher. Welcome back to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Folks, this segment is brought to you by our friends over at Hangdog Social. Check them out at hangdogsocial.com. We are here with the founder and CEO. We're going to get back to him in just a minute. Folks, by the way, in case you're just tuning in, lots of great content on Hangdog Social right here on the circus. So make sure you listen to the full show in its entirety on all of our stored venues such as Apple, Amazon, Audible, Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, YouTube, Stitcher, Deezer, plus all those other streaming platforms as well, where you can hear the show in its entirety in case you missed any part of it. And by the way, also in the last segment, there was a message by Vacation Buddies. In case you missed it, a simple trivia question. If you know the answer to it, you can pick up a couple of nights in Las Vegas or in Branson, Missouri, or in Orlando, Florida, if you know which of these superstars won 6 NBA titles. And that would be either A, Magic Johnson, B, Shaquille O'Neal, C, Kobe Bryant, or D, Michael Jordan. If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. Remember, Vacation Buddies is not affiliated with this station, but they want to give you a couple of nights in Las Vegas, Branson, Missouri, or Orlando, Florida. If you know the answer to that simple trivia question, call them right now, 888-576-5777. All right, welcome back to the Sports Circus again, and we are here with Mike Breault from Hangdog Social. Mike is the founder and CEO. And Mike, listen, this is very informative, and it all started from my first trip to watch sports at your sports bar. I thought I was just going to a regular sports bar, but obviously that wasn't the case. I had great experience. I had great food. And overall, to me, I'm like, I've got to do a show that talks about Hangdog Social. Where do we leave off in the last segment?
Great question, Sal. I'm thinking through some of the things I want to talk about, and we definitely talked about all the restaurants that we have that you could use or to go to with the family and its family orientation and whatnot. You tell me. I think you had a question for me earlier, and I cannot recall what that was.
Mike, it was on global expansion, and it was about lodging and vacation destinations and so forth.
Yes, that's great. So Hangdog Social, since we had such a great experience here, and we saw how quickly this grew, and organically, mind you, we did no marketing or advertising for this venue. We have partners that are affiliated with us with Spritzy Drink Co., our drink company, on a global level, and we're expanding that around the world. Our partners in Europe, in Asia, in Estonia, in fact, Italy, we've got partners everywhere around the world, and every single one of them wants to open a Hangdog. So we put together a plan for 60 months to open 30 Hangdog Socials around the world after we've opened our second facility here in Rancho Cucamonga, which is about 4 times the size of our original facility, with two 20-room Airbnbs here, one for family and one for adults. So that's kind of what our plans are, is to open once this facility is finished here in Rancho, and we're hoping that's going to be done in no more than 1 year. We'll be starting opening in late fall here in Rancho, reopening I should say, and then our goal is to start opening the other facilities around the world and have all 30 open in 60 months.
Okay, so when you're referring to Rancho, as my understanding, that's Rancho Cucamonga in Southern California, right?
Yes, sir. I apologize for that. Yeah, Rancho Cucamonga.
Right. We just have to make sure that we're clear for the audience that is not familiar with that location. And that is essentially east of Los Angeles by about, 1 hour?
Yes, sir.
Right down maybe Interstate 10 as you're heading east. Maybe you're at the movie studios and whatnot, and you're heading east on your way to fabulous Las Vegas, for example. Right? And maybe you come across a sign, you say, hey, I remember Bugs Bunny talking about Rancho Cucamonga. Right? Just kind of like he makes a left turn at Albuquerque. And, I've made a left at Albuquerque and I never found Bugs anyway. But my point is, in all of this, right, we have to think, what's up, Doc? We have to think, all right, where is this location? And then we think about all these international locations. But what about exchange rates as we go from this country to that country in these we'll just say these incredible resorts? And I have to view it kind of like those all-inclusive resorts like the Club Meds of the world, which I've been to many of those around the world. And I would imagine you have a central currency for them, don't you? So people don't have to worry about exchange rates?
Well, so that's very insightful, actually, and a great question. We have our own token. It's a cryptocurrency called the Pi token, and it's just now getting out there. While we use the digital currency with our gift cards and whatnot through Hangdog Social in the club in Redlands, we came up with the cryptocurrency concept. The beautiful thing about this is our members are also owners. If you load your wallet up with cryptocurrency, the Pi token cryptocurrency, you have fractional ownership of all the Hangdog resorts. And our tokens go up with the valuations of all of the businesses that Hangdog Social owns. So you're getting, and it's 25% backed by gold. So it's an asset-backed currency. The beautiful thing is having this in your digital wallet and with your Hangdog card. You can go from here to West Africa and use to the club in anywhere, Philippines, wherever you are, and you can use your Hangdog cryptocurrency there as if it was the U.S. fiat currency or yen or whatever types of currency that are out there.
See, what I like is the fact that, I've done a lot of this. I've traveled around the world and I've stayed in different parts of the world, and I've had different exchange rates to worry about. And for me, whether it's Club X, Y, Z, whatever the hell, maybe I'm going to Rome, or I'm going to Prague, one of my favorite cities in the world, or I'm going to Rio de Janeiro, which is arguably my most favorite place outside the U.S. I always worry about, okay, what is the conversion to euros, or what's the conversion to a local currency called reais or royals? That's what it looks like, for example, over there. Or what if I'm going to Canada, even right across the border? I've got the Canadian dollar to worry about. In this particular case, you have your own currency, the Piety token. Piety token, folks. And I have to tell you, it is something unique. It is something, again, that I have never seen. And when I think about what the value of walking into a location and already having the piety, I'll spell it for you, Piety, piety token. And
reverence to God and family.
Right.
Is what piety means.
Right.
Yes.
And as I look at it, I say, I don't have to worry about trading my money or going to the local cambio to change my money in. Maybe I'm going to Mexico or I'm going somewhere else in Central America, maybe in Costa Rica. I think about exchange rates and everything else. In this particular case, I don't have to worry about it. And by the way, I can also even buy the tokens themselves, and I don't even have to worry about the exchange rate there because it has its own metrics, even from, I guess, your long-term holds to whatnot. So I understand that people could actually hold these for the long term as well. What does that look like? Give me a quick 30 seconds on that, and then, because we're not too terribly far away from the end of the show, and then how they can find out more about the piety token in the first place.
Well, first I'll tell you, go to pietytoken.com. We're in the midst of our Founders pre-launch right now for the new facility. The beautiful thing that you brought up about the all-inclusive, imagine going and getting your membership to an all-inclusive club, and you're holding that money in your digital wallet, and it's increasing in value. So by the time you go to use it, it's already gone up a couple $100. The piety token will increase. We've got such an amazing formula for that if you buy it, you become an owner, a fractional owner of all the Hangdogs companies. 2, you have an asset-backed currency, and 3, you have a membership to the facility and all the facilities around the world.
That's really exciting. I like the fact that I can actually technically exchange my money to my venue where I want to go to down the road. And I'm not really doing that, but all I'm doing is I have a universal currency. Kind of like in Europe, they have the euro that's accepted everywhere except Great Britain. But the fact that I could actually already have that part of my trip taken care of, but it's not just for the trip. And see, folks, this is where it gets better because you don't have to worry about going to the currency exchange and doing this, doing that, going to the bank and getting the right exchange rate, because when you're traveling, technically, you're supposed to really use your credit card, and that's in this location or that location, so you get the best exchange rate. But in this particular argument, you actually don't have to do that. And that's what I love about it. In fact, that deserves an astounding round of applause. And when the
final note, Sal, the piety token itself is, it grows in value, and you can exchange it for any other fiat currency that you need to if you're going into other areas that may not accept the piety token.
See, now that is really cool as well, because at least I know, let's just say I'm in, I don't know, let's just pick a location, Costa Rica, right? Let's just arguably say Costa Rica. Let's just say, and they do take the US dollar there, but they want their local currency as well, right? The point that I'm making here is that I don't worry about the exchange rate because I already have the piety token that I'm using, and I could basically acquire it ahead of time. And what the crazy part about it is it actually grows in value over time. So it's kind of like I'm investing in my vacation money or whatnot in the first place. I mean, how cool is that? I've never seen that before.
Right. Each time you use it at the facility, you get rewards and loyalty points as well that go back into cryptocurrency. So every time you use it, it continues to grow as well for yourself personally.
That's incredible. I've never seen anything like that. I don't even think the audience has ever heard anything like it. Folks, it's not hype. It's not anything. This is just fact. And the cool thing about it, we can talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about here on this show, and we like that. But more importantly, this is something where A, you're entertained, B, you're fed, C, you have great lodging, and by the way, you can even get your currency ahead of time, and it grows in value. I don't know of a better situation like that. How do people pick up some of these piety tokens ahead of time?
Right now, Sal, the best way to do it is to go to pietytoken.com. We are, like I said, it's called the Founders Vault pre-launch, and we're allowing we've really done really well with our current membership base here in the local community, but we're making this offer to everyone, all the listeners out there. If you want to go to pietytoken.com and get your hands on it right now, the tokens are at 1 cent. The pre-sale opens at 2 cents. So I don't know if that's a critical, but it shows there's going to be some massive movement upward as we go. And when we do the public opening, we're looking to be at about a quarter, about 25 cents to the public members when we get going.
Well, that's incredible. And here in our last 30 seconds, I have to say, folks, I don't think I've ever seen a situation where I could technically buy a vacation ahead of time, if you will. I could buy my time at a club ahead of time at literally pennies on the dollar. I've never seen anything like this ever. But more importantly, you can have a great time, be around great people in a great environment. I want to thank Mike Breault, CEO and founder of Hangdog Social, for joining us today. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Sal. Really appreciate it.
All right, folks, make sure you check them out at hangdogsocial.com and also pietytoken.com as well. Boy, this has been a lot of fun. We're going to have to bring Mike back for another episode here of the Sports Circus. So until 23 hours from now, we're going to see you. And by the way, a big thanks again for Mike Breault from Hangdog Social. And make sure you check him out, folks. Nice round of applause for him once again. And we'll see you soon right here on the circus, folks. So long, everyone.
If I was your mother and you had a drug problem, I'd grab you by the ear and make you call and get help. You can be in treatment tomorrow and start to get clean in 7 days. Follow Mom's advice and call the Detox and Treatment Helpline now. Write this number down.
800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. That's 800-814-8628.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.